everybody. Welcome to BYOB, the Bring Your Own Book podcast. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Kelly.
And today we are coming at you with the last episode of season 4, our quintessential wrap up, our best and worst of the year. So we have a lot of stuff to get into in this video. Best, worst, DNF, how many books did we read, what was the general vibe. But to start it off, what we're going to do is a little different than usual. And we are going to give each other our first 10 books of the year. And we're going to see, do we remember those books? And do a little like 1 or 2 word or reactive review of those books. So I don't know how ready you are for this, Kelly. I feel like I'm not ready.
I know I looked at my Goodreads the other day to make this list, but I couldn't tell you what was in that part of the year because I totally forget what I read pretty much as soon as I've read it. I do know that I read a lot of picture books at the beginning, and so our one rule for this thing is that we're not doing picture books or graphic novels just because. Yeah. Nothing wrong with them. We're just deciding to choose novels for this reaction. So...
And I feel like with picture books and graphic novels, they're kind of like our filler stuff. Like, that's what I want to read when I want to just like feel a little sense of accomplishment for me personally. And like, not that I don't like them because I do really enjoy them, but that's not the same reading experience for me. So I don't rate them in the same way. I feel like I don't rate them at all. I feel like I give almost all graphic novels a 4.
Okay.
And it's just because I'm like, yeah, that was a breeze. Cool.
Oh my god.
I'm done.
I don't know. Like, I read them sometimes for that reason. Sometimes I'll read picture books if it's like one I've heard about or seen around and I'm like, I want to check it out and see what it's actually about. Sometimes it's because I'm stressed. Sometimes it's like I can't fall asleep and I don't want to read a whole book. So I'll read like 2 picture books on my phone. But like... Yeah, I have definitely read picture books and graphic novels where I've been like, this is whack. And that's sad, because what? Oh, yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start off, and I'm going to give you your books, Kelly. Okay?
I'm nervous.
I'm excited to see what you're going to do.
I know the first book I read because I had to look back. So I do know this one. And I'm like, oh God. Okay.
So
sorry.
your first book is Never Lie by Frida McFadden, our girl Frida.
Ugh. I don't even know what to say, but lame. Dumb.
Love it. Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This was a reread for you.
Yes. A buddy read. Magical.
Any Duchess Will Do, Spindle Cove No. 4 by Tessa Dare.
Oh, that's a purple cover. I think or pink. Romance, I guess. I don't remember this one. Any Duchess Will Do?
Yeah.
I just think of Joseph. Any dream will do.
Oh, I was thinking of Any Dad Will Do. But it's Your Dad Will Do, isn't it?
Not any dad, your
just
dad.
Your dad.
Okay? Except our dads have the same name.
Which, so that, not your dad. Someone else's dad. Okay.
God.
Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say Cholera. I'm like, I didn't read that. Okay. Like, did I read that? No, okay.
That's like a little intense for January, okay?
Right? Okay, this one, I'm going to say true crime in what is the word? Informative, I guess? Educational? Yeah. I learned a lot about true crime historic cases and books during that book, even though it was a rom-com. So it was fun.
Awesome. The Bear and the Nightingale, the Winter Night Trilogy No. 1 by Catherine Arden.
Disappointing. I was really let down. Really let down. Cold. Disappointing.
Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Meh. It was
Yep.
okay. Audiobook, drugs,
Drugs.
Fleetwood Mac, but not as good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hemlock Island by Kelly Armstrong.
Creepy and inventory because I listened to it while I was at work all night long.
I love that. Inventory.
Yeah.
Hemlock Island. The Vanishing Stare, which is Truly Devious #2 by Maureen Johnson.
This is the red one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love this one. I'm going to say fun and shocking.
Everything I love about her. And then we have Bride by Allie Hazelwood.
Oh, yes. Loved it. Omegaverse mystery. Fun. Like
Love
futuristic
it.
paranormal. Really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Nodding. Boom. And
Yeah,
I think that
don't
was
ask us, look it up.
I think that was 9. So
Okay.
Mountains Made of Glass. Fairy Tale Retelling #1 by Scarlett St. Clair.
So bad. So bad. This was a
Ooh.
blind date with a book that I
Oh,
bought.
okay. Mm-hmm.
So I know the coworker, and I was like, this was not it
Ouch.
at all. Yeah.
That sucks.
Did
I
I
love
pass?
that. You did pass. All enthusiastically answered. Gold
Is
star.
there any other way with me? I have either like 11 or -2. Even my down is like
intense.
a lot. Yeah. Okay, Nikki.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I really don't remember what they are.
And I had to like skip over quite a few as well with you. So
okay. Yep.
yeah. Okay. So #1, As Good as Dead, which is the 3rd book in Holly Jackson's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series.
Oh, like heart-stopping, so thrilling.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. 2nd book, The Only One Left by Riley Sager.
The 24-hour read. So much fun.
Okay. I'm on like chapter 3 or 4. I've tried it twice, and not because it was bad. I just was like not in the right time.
Right.
Because I can tell it's going to be creepy.
It was fascinating. Old world meets new worlds, like perfect amalgamation. I'm going to talk about it more. It's on my list. So
okay, spoilers. Okay. Okay, then we have the first in the Tyrant Philosophers series by Adrian Tchaikovsky, City of Last Chances.
Complex and retrospective.
Okay.
It was a pain to get through, but a joy to look back on.
Yeah, I get that. I read the 2nd book in the series.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have Emily Henry's Happy Place.
It was sad and beautifully written. And I have such complex feelings about Emily Henry. Sad, but hopeful and realistic. And the friendship aspects just really got me. I didn't even care about her relationship with that guy. I was more sad about her and her friends.
Yeah. Yeah, that was... Yeah, I agree. I was kind of annoyed by things with them, the couple.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyways. Okay. I'm like... Okay, then we have another Riley Sager book, Lock Every Door. And I like the pink. The purple.
Unexpected twist.
Oh.
crazy unexpected twist,
Okay.
Rosemary's Baby vibes, which I
Ooh.
loved. Yeah.
Okay. I really hope you didn't hear Lily grunt / snore right as you said that. I'm like,
I don't know. Gandalf's been smacking his lips this whole time, and so because he keeps stretching and he goes when he does it.
for anyone who doesn't know, that's her cat.
Yes. My boyfriend, Gandalf.
My
Gandalf the
wizard.
Grey.
Yeah. Okay, then we have Sarah Pierce's second book in the Detective Ellen Warner series, The Retreat.
This was so fun. It was so
Okay.
much fun. I loved the sanatorium, which you got me for Christmas or my birthday or something one year.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like great. It was like such a great continuation.
Okay, because I didn't know this was a detective book either. I thought it was like horror when I bought it for you.
Right.
Because the first one was like in a sanatorium.
Yeah.
So it sounded creepy.
Yeah, the first book is like her brother or her brother's girlfriend like helps open this hotel in what used to be a sanatorium, and then there's like all this creepy shit that happens. Second one was a great continuation. I have the third one on my shelf waiting for me to read it, and I'm so excited.
I gotta try her one of these days. Like, put it on my list. Oh my god. Okay, then we have The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware.
Predictable
Mm.
retelling, which is why it's predictable, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But the use of technology in the creepy aspects was like very well done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a retelling of Turn of the Screw?
Yeah, by Henry James.
Oh,
And they're
okay.
like in Scotland, and the house is really old, but the guy who owns the house, like him and his wife, they are like have like a tech startup or something, so they've made it a smart home.
Oh, okay.
And let's just say like when things malfunction, like I was getting like worried.
Oh god.
So it was great.
Okay. We just have a couple
Okay.
left. So then we have the fifth book, a lot of series here. The fifth book in the Cormoran Strike series by Robert Galbraith, Troubled Blood.
I liked it. I
Okay.
really liked it. I thought it was like cold case being solved. I love the characters of Cormoran and Robin. So like it was awesome.
Okay. That's on my list too. I have the first book on my Kindle one of these days. And then you have the next book in that series, The Ink Black Heart, which I remember you brought to the Silent Book Club.
Oh, yeah. This one was great. Super cool change of like style for this book. It was
Mm.
a lot of stuff happening on the internet, so you're seeing like online chats and stuff. And it was a
Okay,
really good
yeah.
switch up from like the kind of more analog detective crime stuff that they usually do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then the last book for you is Alicia Thompson's Love in the Time of Serial Killers.
I did
I
not
know.
like it. We have a whole episode where we talk about it.
And how I led her astray by
She
accident.
did. It's the only time she's ever done that to me.
Well, I don't know. I tried my best not to.
It's the only time she's led me astray where I didn't willingly follow.
I can't win them all, okay? But you started with a lot of mysteries in series that you were like in the middle of.
I know. I was like really
Yeah.
surprised. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, I found my love for Riley Sager at the beginning of the year, and like so good. So much fun.
It is fun. I feel like
Yeah.
I've been reading a lot of mystery lately, but yeah, we'll get into that.
Yes, we will.
I can't believe the year's almost done.
I
Like,
know.
by the
I
time
know.
at the time that we are recording this, we still have about like 2.5 weeks left of the year.
Yep.
So I think it's safe to say we probably won't read the best book of the year for us or whatever. So this is always
No.
how it is when we do this. Like, we can't record it on the last
Yeah.
day.
So, how many books have you read so far up until right now, today, December 13th?
Um, I have read 124 because my Goodreads is incorrect.
Because you don't put the really gross stuff on there.
Not really gross, just things that I don't want, like, my sister or my mom to see, because I don't know if my mom's on Goodreads,
Right.
but I can't.
And what was your goal?
100.
Okay. Cool.
Yes. And I think the past 2 years I've had about the same amount.
Nice.
So I've had lower goals in the past, but I've made like 120-ish for the
Awesome.
past 2 or 3 years. Yeah. So I'm like, okay,
Well,
cool. I think that's like my cap. I don't
yeah.
think I could do more unless I read like only graphic novels. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. What about you?
So, my goal was 60. My goal is always 60 because I feel like that I can always attain that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've
yeah.
read so far 74 books, and I'm reading 2 right now.
Yeah.
One in the Lost Heroes or the Heroes of Olympus series. And
Okay.
then I'm reading The Assassin's Blade in Throne of Glass.
Yes. Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to definitely get 76. I'm sure I'll read more than that now that everything's settled down. No more school, no more renovations.
Yes. Yeah. When I finished school, I picked up the Dragon Republic because I was like, the year's almost done.
Yeah.
And I've had the goal to finish the Poppy War trilogy for like 3 years.
Yep.
So
this is the year, man.
I can't bring it up again. If I don't do it this year, I can't talk about it ever again. I just got to do it. Just
has to be a silent goal.
Yes. So I'm on part 2 of that book. So.
Oh my god, is it so good?
It is good, but a character showed up and I was like, what is going on? I am confused, even though I like listened to our very in-depth summary of the Poppy War.
Yep.
But then I was like reading it and I was like, wait a sec, who is this person? Do we like this person? I don't know. So, but there's a bunch of new people because, I mean, the end of the first book, it makes sense because they're in a war.
Yep.
So, yeah. But yeah,
I'm definitely going to have to reread the first one before I jump into the second one because that was a blurry 28 hours for me. That was like the fastest I've ever listened to a book in my life.
Oh, God. Well, I have the audiobook. I got all 3 books from Audible in one for 1 credit. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Hot tip.
How do you do that? Was it like just bundled?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do, as I say.
I think I don't have the first 2 though, so maybe that's like
oh. Yeah, don't do that.
Whatever.
But I'm liking it so far. It's not really festive, but I guess blood is red, so there you go.
I never read festive books. Like, people are like, all the contemporary romance Christmas, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, Jingle Your Bells and shit. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just like,
I have 2 Christmas mysteries.
Oh.
And they're short.
Nice.
If you want to borrow, one of them was like, okay. The other one I really liked. And it's very short. So if you want to borrow it, you can.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I will read a festive book this year.
Okay. Yeah, it was fun. It's a mystery. It was not a romance. Okay.
Right.
Why are my lights flickering? Someone, Ghost of Christmas Present is not happy with you.
But he's torturing you.
No! I'm fine!
Oh.
Oh, I got that Christmas one I have to read too. Spectacular.
Oh.
We'll see if I get to it by Stephanie Garber, because that's in the same world as Caraval, and I've only read the first book. And then
Yep.
the spin-off series. I read the whole spin-off series,
Right.
but not the original series, because that's how I roll. That's how I roll. I live
Yeah.
dangerously. Anyways.
Okay. We're gonna get into the tea, if you will. How should we do this? We'll do our top 4, and then we'll talk about our DNF, our like
Our
our
best
best
DNF.
DNF,
The best
and
choice we made. Yes.
the worst book we completed, and then we'll give our top of the year.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah, I'm on
Why
board.
don't you start us off then, Kelly?
Okay, well, in true Kelly fashion, my first pick is not one book, but a series, because I just figured why not?
Yeah.
Because I've read quite a few of them at this point. And my first pick is the Chief Inspector Armand Gamache series by Louise Penny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is book 3, The Cruelest Month. And it was my first book out of the series that I read because, again, I live dangerously with books.
Mhm.
But I take good care. I just choose dangerously, I guess. And then I think this is the 4th book. No, the 5th book, The Brutal Telling.
Mhm.
These are the only 2 that I physically own, but I put them on my Christmas wish list. So maybe Santa will bring me some. So that'd be nice. But I started it, like I said, with the 3rd book, and I was like, I've heard a lot about her. When I worked at Chapters, she was very popular. When her new book came out, they were flying off the shelf, and I was like, who is this lady? Like, I want to try it. So I started with number 3 because I heard that you didn't have to read them all, and I thought, well, there's 18 books. I'm not going to get through 18 of these. This is crazy. And now there's 19 books, and I have read 5 or 6 of them. I skipped number 2 because you told me to skip it because there was a TV show, Three Pines, and the 2nd episode is pretty close to it or something like that.
Yeah.
So I might go back eventually, but I'm happy right now. Oh no.
I read it, and just save yourself the time. It's like not it. Although I
Okay.
loved Still Life, the first book.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Okay. I think my favorite right now is number 4, A Rule Against Murder. And then the last one I read, Bury Your Dead, was really good. And it was like sad, and it was good. This book, or this series, I guess I should say, I wouldn't say it's a dark mystery, but it's not really cozy either. It's like kind of in the middle.
Right.
Because like you have the cozy village of Three Pines and all the townsfolk, and I love getting to know them. Like at first I said to Nikki, I was like, I don't know if I can get on board with everything happening in this little town, because how many people are going to be murdered here? Like
at least 19.
Yeah. Well, in the 4th book, they're not in Three Pines. So I'm like, okay, there's a little field trip.
Right.
So, but people from the village are there.
Yeah, because I'm like, how do you do this book without Claire and her shitty husband, Peter, and like Ruth Zotto, and like all of them?
Oh
like,
my God. Peter, every book, I'm like, Peter did it. Peter did it. Because he's so sketchy.
He's going to have to do it sometime. And I just hope it's not to Claire.
Clara. Yeah, no.
Clara.
Yeah, Clara. No, Clara. But I love it. I was really surprised. I don't think I've really read a series like this, because I usually, if it's a detective series, it's like YA, and it's like 3 maybe most.
Right.
But I'm really enjoying it. I love the town. I love that it's set in Quebec, but it's not like we're in Canada. Like it's clearly Quebec. She doesn't hide that it's Quebec, but it's fully fleshed out. It's really interesting. There's a lot of issues about Anglophones and Francophones are really interesting to read about. And like being Canadians, we didn't really learn about that in school. So like the last book I read, they talked a lot about Louis Riel. And I was like, why do I care about this now? Because in school, I was like, who is this? I didn't understand anything because it was in French class, ironically.
Yep.
But I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm really interested in Canadian history. Who am I?
Yeah.
So I loved it. I'm going to try to read all of them. So that's my first
Woo!
choice. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. I do definitely have a top, but my other ones that I'm going to talk about, I don't have like a specific order for.
Okay.
But my first one that I'm going to talk about that I've already mentioned is The Only One Left by Riley Sager.
Mm-hmm.
Holy balls, was this book so good. I picked this up. I had never read anything by him. I remember it came out, I think, at the beginning of the year or like kind of the end of last year.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really new when I read it, and I couldn't put this thing down. I was just ripping through it. And I at the end, I was crying
Oh my God.
and I was just feeling like I wish I could read this all over again for the first time. That's how good it was. So, I don't know. And it sent me on a Riley Sager spree.
How many have you read now by him,
Oh,
if you had to
I think
guess?
5
Okay,
all
yeah.
this year. So,
Yeah.
yeah, my
Wow.
latest one that I read was his newest release.
Mm. The green one.
It's up there. The Midnight or Home at no, that's not it. It anyway,
Yeah,
it says Midnight in the title. It was really
it's
good too.
green. My
Yeah.
coworker was like, didn't he name it after Taylor Swift? Didn't he dedicate it to Taylor Swift? I was like, no, he didn't. I don't think so. Not
Yeah, I
confirmed,
don't think
people.
that he
Right? Because there's midnight in it. Midnight existed before Taylor.
no, middle of the night.
Oh, that's
Middle
why.
of the night. And who did he
Okay.
dedicate it to? Definitely not Taylor Swift.
No, because we opened it up. I was like,
To Patricia Cole, I think he would have loved this one.
oh my God. Okay.
Not Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was also a banger. But
I love the
yeah,
covers too. They're so like they pop.
like bam. And they
Yeah.
do all go together. Well, at least these ones do. Maybe it's the start of like
Yeah.
a trend, but I
I
like
love the
that.
font. Yeah.
Yeah, she's bold.
Put it on my list. Yeah.
Okay, what's your next one, Kel?
Okay, this one took me by surprise. In true Kelly fashion, yet again, I pre ordered this on a whim before I
Yep.
lost my employee discount, as you do. Okay.
Yep.
And I'm so happy that I pre ordered this because I devoured it. It is Servant of Earth by Sarah Hawley.
That's
I love
pretty.
this cover. And it's
Yeah.
a hardback. There's no dust jacket. And I was like, oh, this
Oh.
feels so nice. It's the first book in the Shards of Magic series. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how many there's going to be, but the cover, I saw it and I was intrigued. It says 6 deadly trials, 0 room for error. And it just reminds me of like fantasy movies I used to watch as a kid. Like it's giving
Mm-hmm.
me 80s fantasy, even though I'm a 90s baby. Like Princess and the Goblin, kind
Yep.
of, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if you loved The Cruel Prince, or if you love creepy fae stories, not just like hot winged people
Mm-hmm.
fae, if you like the creepy ones, this is for you. Oh my God. At the very beginning, I was like, am I going to like this? Because the writing was like a little iffy for me at first, but I was intrigued by the plot. And so I kept going and then I could not stop. The amount of times I gasped out loud, Scott was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "It's my book." Like, I just like, stop talking. I'm busy, you know? Like, read the room, okay? I'm reading. So where, literally though,
So relatable. Like, shut the fuck up. Did I ask for you?
seriously, every time I'm reading, I'm like, oh, and he'll go, "What?" I'm like, "It's my book." He's like, "Oh." I'm like, "If I need you, I will call you, okay?
Yeah.
Just let it be. Okay, go back to whatever you were doing.
Yeah.
I'm busy." So she the heroine is named Kenna, and she's from this town where like every, I want to say it's like every 6 years they have this ceremony where a few women who are of a certain age get sent over to cross this bog to go to the Fey land of Mistay. And her best friend gets chosen. This happens at the very beginning, so it's not a spoiler. Her best friend gets chosen and she's like, oh my god, she's gonna die, I can't let her go. And so she decides to go with her and try to help her cross the bog because she grew up by the bog and she knows how to get halfway across. So she's like, maybe I can help her survive.
Oh, mm-hmm.
She gets to the other side and she gets taken prisoner and she's forced to serve one of the princesses of one of the castles or courts in this land, and just danger at every turn. Who do you trust? There's a romance that's very slow burn,
I
and
love
I
that.
I was reeling, Nikki. I was
I'm gonna
reeling.
read this. I think I'm gonna read this over my break. This
Ah,
sounds so
yes.
good.
It was
Like,
so good. And the action at the beginning, it made me think of Lord of the Rings when they're in that creepy forest bog swamp thing because
mm-hmm.
they're crossing the bog. And I'm like, oh my god, like it was so good. It was so good. I'm not even kidding when I say that I was gasping out loud. I was like, what the fuck all the time. It was so good. This came out of nowhere for me. 4.5 out of 5.
I
I
love
was like,
that.
what is this? So I really want to know your thoughts
Yeah,
because
that sounds freaking great. I've been wanting a fantasy, and I had almost talked myself into reading The Priory of the Orange Tree.
oh
Because,
yes.
like, I do really want to read it. It's been on my shelf
Hmm.
for a very long time. It is still so intimidating to me how large this book is.
I
So,
know.
this will be a great midway. I get the fantasy, it is a normal size.
Yes. Yes. And the romance, I can't say anything without spoiling, so I'm just going to say that I was reeling. I was reeling and it's slow burn.
Love
So
it.
I just
I
hit my
love it.
headphones. I'm
I do
so
love
enraged.
I do love slow burn. Like I mean, don't get me wrong. I love dark romance and I love the like spice and everything, but it doesn't like insta love will never hit the same as like hundreds of pages of like yearning and like
Hmm.
looking and small like hand touching and stuff. Like it will always be better.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't stand when we're in books like this where like shit is constantly hitting the fan and then
Yeah.
it's like, never mind, I'm not worried about dying because there's a cute boy over there. It's like, hello, time and a
Yeah.
place. Like, could you wait?
Like I wouldn't care
So,
about that boy if I was in your position right now.
no. Oh my god. No, I think if you like Akatar but you want creepy Fae, you like The Cruel Prince,
Love it.
yes.
I'm
What's
excited.
your number 4?
So, my number 4 is The Joy Luck Club by Amy
Oh.
Tan.
This is a reread, right?
It's not.
Oh no, yes. Okay.
I've seen the movie quite a bit growing up. It's one of my mom's favorites. She likes anything that has to do with real world or things that make you cry. Um,
Okay.
and I had watched, or I came home one night, I think from your place, and she was watching it. So I watched the end of it with her, and I was like, why haven't I read the book? Because I love the story. It's very beautiful. The book is obviously laid out not the same way that the movie is. It's like kind of vignettes. And
Mm.
so you see there's daughters and 4 daughters and 3 mothers. And one of the daughters, her mom has just passed, and she gets invited to play mahjong with the moms to take her mother's place because
Okay.
they need 4 people to play.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's kind of this overarching plot with her of her mother during the war when she was still in China had daughters, and they want they want her to go and meet her sisters because their mom isn't going to be able to because she's passed away. And then you see this disconnect of immigrants coming to America and then their first generation American daughters and them wanting their daughters to be American and then their daughters completely disassociating with their Chinese heritage. And
Mm.
it's like It's a very hard read sometimes, but like
Mm-hmm.
so, so good. And
Mm.
I think everybody should read it. It's just like lovely and sad, but there's also some like really nice moments between the moms and the daughters too. And the movie's also really great, so you can just cap it off with watching the movie. And it has the girl who played Mulan in it. She was the
Like
voice
the
of
new
Mulan.
Mulan?
No, like
Oh, I was
the
like,
Disney Mulan, like the original OG.
okay.
She was the voice. And it also has the lady who was in Freaky Friday who gives Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis the fortune cookie.
Okay. I'm like, what?
Anyway, the movie's really great.
Okay.
The book is really beautiful. I
Nice.
can't say enough good things about it. I started that at Silent Book Club one night. That night that we
Mm-hmm.
got the really spicy tacos.
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
like
Oh, my
fucking
God.
dying.
I had the sweet taco. I was like, what? Ugh, I would have switched with you.
Oh my god. Mine was like, I was sweating. I was like, I need milk.
I was like, mine has pineapple. Like, why? I didn't know.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I don't like
But I was
pineapple.
crying like on the very first page. I was
Oh my
crying.
God.
Like so it's an emotional roller coaster. You cry because you're happy, you cry because you're sad, and like yeah. So I had to add that, and it's one of my only like kind of just like real world like contemporary books that I read this year.
Oh, wow.
Everything
Okay.
else has been like crime, thriller, fantasy. Like that's I think the only book that I read that didn't have some kind of angle like that. It was just
Okay.
life.
Just life. Yeah. That's cool. She has
Yeah.
a new-ish book out, I want to say, and the cover was beautiful. It was green.
Oh.
I don't remember the name of it now though, but I remember seeing her name on the cover and being like, "Oh, that's that lady," because I had never
Yeah.
read anything by her or seen the movie. So when
Right.
you showed it to me, I was like, "Oh," like connecting the dots.
Yeah.
But
I've never read
yeah,
any of her other books, but I definitely would now. But only
yeah.
if I'm like really ready to like have a mental breakdown.
We just finished school, so maybe not
I'm
now.
ready.
Oh God, we're out of that. We're out of that.
I have to release all of the energy I've been like holding these last 13 weeks.
That's true. Yeah, need some catharsis. My God,
Yeah.
losing my mind. God.
Okay, what's your next one, Cal?
Okay, well, to get us out of crying, I have something funny by
Ooh,
Emily Henry. Funny story.
that was a great segue.
Thanks. I I was not going to put her on my list at first just because I'm
Oh,
like, well, it's Emily Henry. Like, we know that she's great, you know?
right.
But honestly, Happy Place, even though I gave it a 4, it was kind of a letdown for me.
Mm,
But I gave it a 4 because it was just so well done. Like how could I not?
yeah.
Like it was good. But this I was so hyped for, and when I read it, I flew through it in one day. Like it was just so much fun. I loved the romance. It gave me beach read vibes, just like they have some serious things going on. They're dealing with their issues separately and together.
Hmm.
Not so much grief like in Beach Read. Have you read this yet?
No,
I don't remember. Okay, so I won't
I
say too
haven't.
much. Okay, so I put Beach Read first still, and then this is my second favorite out of her books I've read. So
Oh.
I like they go to a winery all the time because he works at a winery. And I'm like, I want to go to a winery. Like, this seems like so much fun. They go to the beach, they sit on the sand in the cold, and they like smoke a joint. I'm like, I want to go to the beach in the cold. Like, I don't like the beach, but I want to go. I want to sit and talk about the teenagers nearby and be like, It
Wow.
was so much fun. Her best friend, I think, in the book works at a library.
Hmm.
And so, like, you have like funny librarians in here. The premise is the two main people, their partners leave them for each other. And so
Oh.
they're like, what the fuck? And she goes to him because she's like, what the fuck? And then they end up
Hmm.
living together. out of necessity, basically.
Right.
And it's so good.
That
He,
makes the title make
Miles,
sense.
yeah, like, how do you know each other? Funny
Oh,
story.
yeah.
Yeah. Miles, the main man in here, is like the perfect boyfriend. Oh my god, I was in love. I was in love. I was like, let's get it together, okay? You know, he's it, lady. Just get with him. Just deal with it
Hmm.
together, you know? So
Yeah.
I loved this. This did not let me down at all. I can see myself rereading this like every summer as soon as it's
Oh.
about to get warm. Like
Yep.
it's like the perfect spring summer cusp book for me. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I think you will love it too once you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Ugh.
always like slow with Emily Henry books, and I always go into them with trepidation because my first book was Beach Read, and
Mhm.
I read it in like 24 hours. It was insta love with that book. I related to so many aspects of it,
Mhm.
and I was just like every time I go into one of her books, I'm just like it's never going to be as good as Beach Read was.
Yeah.
And I think, they're obviously like, oh, like one could always be like, you could always like it more. I don't think so. It's always going to be Beach Read. That
Mhm.
was like a 7 star out of 5.
Yeah.
So even though I do like her, like some of her other ones, the only one that I've tried to read that I haven't is People We Meet on Vacation, which is such a dumb name for the book when you know what the premise is. But
Yeah. What's
yeah,
the I have the UK one and it's You and Me on Vacation.
like that makes more sense
Yeah. I
because they
don't
already
know.
know each other. They go on vacation a lot. That was
Yeah.
like the point.
Yeah.
That was like
Whatever.
kind of the point.
I have one of her it's not near me so I can't pick it up, but I have one of her older YA books that my
Oh,
sister and my mom read and they both liked it and they gave it to me to read. I haven't read it yet. So I'll let you know
oh,
when I do cuz yeah, I've only ever read her like really popular adult books. I've never read
I
her
didn't know
older
she had any
YA.
other books. So,
Yeah. Yeah, she had a couple for YA and I think they're all contemporary.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
but I haven't tried it yet. I'm a little scared, but they're like, "No, it was great." I'm like, "Okay," cuz like she's so good, how could it be bad?
Right?
But
I know. She's a
I
very
don't know.
talented writer.
Yes. I can't wait for her movies. Like Nora
If they're good.
Ephron. I'm just like, get more rom-coms out. I'm so tired of Sonic 3.
I know. Yeah, like
What?
just those like freaking action remake stuff. Like,
It's all regurgitated IP stuff. Like,
yeah,
like this thing already exists. Let's make 10 movies of it.
I know. I can't stand when Marvel and DC come out with shit. I'm just like,
The only one I was like, oh, maybe I'll see that. I'm not going to see it. I'll wait till it's on TV or whatever. Craven.
oh, is that with Bill Skarsgård?
I don't know. Is it? I was thinking of the main guy, the guy from Kick Ass.
Oh, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yes, that poster was like a historical romance by Joanna Lindsay. Okay. I was like, they know it's for the girls and the gays. That poster,
What
I'm
am
ready.
I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of Crow.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, no.
Hmm.
No. Yeah. That'll
Anyway,
be a girls' night watch.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, your next choice.
Okay. I don't have the physical book for this. This is another Riley Sager book,
Oh,
Home
okay.
Before Dark. This
Yes,
book
that
creeped me out so bad that I had to make Bryce go to the bathroom with me in the night.
Oh
So,
my
so
god.
this is like paranormal haunted house. A girl and her family, when she was a child, buy this really big kind of mansion-esque home on this estate that was built by this man, and a lot of really bad things happened to his family there. And then it's like years and years and years, like I think over 100 years later, maybe more, they move into this
Okay.
home, and all of this crazy shit happens, and they flee in the night. They just all three of them get in their car and leave. They're like, this is bad news bears.
Oh my god.
And then now she's an adult and her father has passed away and she finds out he never sold the house and it belongs to her. So her and her friend, they're like house flippers. So she's like,
Oh.
I'm just going to go back there and I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to sell it.
No.
And
Bitch.
the creepy shit begins. There's an older lady who lives with her daughter that the older lady used to be the housekeeper and now the daughter takes care of the home.
Okay.
And on the other side of the gate, there's a guy whose dad used to look after the property.
Okay.
And now he's looking after the property. So she's down the hill in this creepy mansion that like stuff's going bad. And then there's the people who live up top who like know things, but they're not saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a cop that's always kind of around. And this house, I'm telling you, I wouldn't even step on the property if I had heard about the stuff that happened in this house. I'd be like, no way, bad juju.
Oh my god.
And of course, because it has to be this way, she's just like, whatever. I'm going to go sleep there.
But didn't she flee in the middle of the night?
Well, so part of the book that you get at the beginning is her parents wrote this tell-all novel that made their family a lot of money about the paranormal things that happened in that house. But she doesn't remember any of it.
Gee, I wonder why.
So anyway, this book had like so many things and it just like kept me on my toes the whole time. Like every page was like new information and it was so fast paced and it was like so good.
Is that
So
the one where
good.
it's like teal with yellow kind of like handwritten font?
No, I think that one is
Oh.
what's it called? The House Across the Lake, maybe?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Home
Yeah, what does
Before
that
Dark. It's green. And it's got like
green?
this is oh, no, I don't want to open Audible. This is the cover that I had.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That tracks. Okay.
It looks like Jersey font.
Yes.
Like a
it's like
football
spooky
team.
Phantom of the Opera chandelier.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't remember all this horrific stuff you're talking about. I don't know why. Like,
yeah.
Girl.
So good.
If you needed a chaperone to go pee in the middle of the night, I know I'm going to be like peeing my pants. Okay? Like, what? Be like, I can't leave. I can't.
I have to pee right here.
I'm going to need a diaper. Yeah. Christmas is coming. Hey, race car drivers wear diapers. Why don't we?
I think because their heads are like strapped to their seats, so they can't get out to stop whiplash.
I thought it was because they are in there for so long that they're like, I can't afford the minute it takes me to pee.
Well, I think that too, but like I think because it would be hard to like get yourself out. I don't really know. I don't watch racing.
No, me neither. That's my next hot take grievance thing. Racing. I don't care. In cars. Wow. Look how they drove. I don't know why it's so popular all of a sudden. Like,
look
with
how they
people
crashed.
Our age. Yeah. I don't know. Someone will have to explain it to me. It's loud. It's stinky.
That's true.
No thanks.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's bad for the environment.
Agreed.
Anyways, my penultimate choice, I also don't own. I want to own. But I don't right now. So I will get a picture because the cover is beautiful. But this one I read as an e-arc.
Ooh.
And yeah, I Loved it. I actually cried at the end. A little
Nice.
bit. And it is The Myth Makers by John Hendricks. This is the cover.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, so it is a nonfiction graphic novel, and it's about the remarkable, not the relationship, but it is a relationship, the remarkable fellowship of C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien. And oh my gosh, like, I didn't know any of this stuff because I didn't read Narnia as a kid. I read other things, and I only read, I did.
That
I
I read other things.
I did, okay? I knew of it. I saw the first movie when it came out because I
Mhm,
was of that age, right? It was
mhm.
really fun. But I never read the books. And my sisters didn't read them, so I was like, whatever. And I hadn't read Lord of the Rings until we read it together.
Right.
So I learned so much about these two different writers' lives and their really long and close friendship. And
Mhm.
even though I know they're going to die at the end, because it's like kind of like
'Cause
a
they're dead.
memoir, yeah, it was just so touching. And on top of learning about their lives, you
Mhm.
also learn about just kind of like myth versus legend and history, and it was just really fascinating. I love fairy tales. They're talking about fairy tales and myth and what the difference is and stuff. I love that stuff.
Oh,
So I actually
nice.
bought a book of Norse mythology after, because I was like, I have the Grimm fairy tale book.
Yep.
Why don't I? And I have the Greek mythology stuff. Why don't I have the Norse one? So I'm
Yep.
slowly learning more about different stuff, but it was so good. And at the beginning, I was like, I don't know if this is exactly what I wanted, because there's two narrators, and one's a lion and one is a wizard,
Mhm.
because it's, Tolkien and Lewis.
Yep.
Um, but at first, it was like really juvenile, and I was like, uh-oh, because it was in the adult section, or it was
Right.
listed as adult. So I was like, what is this? But no, it started off a little bumpy, but it quickly became really, really nice and poignant. And I think you would love it too, because of how much you love Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings. It was just, it
Yeah,
was
and I grew
beautiful.
up reading the Narnia series.
Mm.
So I definitely have an appreciation. So, yeah, that would be really nice to read. Is that out
It was
now?
beautiful. Yeah, it is. It is.
Cool.
I read it in black and white too, so I want to see it in
Um,
color, because my
yeah.
e-arc did not have color and I miss
Right.
it. So
Yeah.
but I loved it. So one of my few, my God, I have to like yell over Lily. She's like, like groaning, snoring. Her life is so hard. I wish I
Right.
could sleep and get cuddles all day. But anyways,
Right.
she had a walk. Like, come on. Anyways, that was one of my few nonfiction books this year,
I
and
don't think I
it
wrote
was worth
read
it.
any nonfiction books other than textbooks.
Oh yeah, I'm not counting that.
No.
Hell no.
If
I'm
it
not
didn't
counting a math
spark joy,
textbook.
it wasn't going on the Goodreads.
I would have DNF'd if I was allowed. Okay,
Right.
so.
For real. For real.
Mhm.
Okay. My penultimate, as Kelly would say, choice,
I love that word.
um, is I'm sure no surprise for anybody when I bring out Death at Morning
Oh
House by
yeah.
Maureen Johnson. So, I mean, if you listen or watch us, you know that we got the absolute amazing honor and pleasure of interviewing Maureen for the release of this book, which is, let's face it, one of my dreams come true
Yeah.
because I have been obsessed with her for many a year now. And this book did not disappoint. It had everything that I loved about Truly Devious, just with new characters, getting confirmation that the Wexler reference was, in fact, to the Westing game, was all of the clarity I needed in my life, because as soon as I read it, I was like, yes, I feel like she's speaking to me. We're the same person from different generations. We both love the Westing game. and like it just felt like magnanimous.
Mm-hmm.
And like I always love her like throwbacks and the island setting and the
Yeah.
creepy like eugenics stuff was
Yeah.
just, it was all great. It was a perfectly stacked like Jenga game.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's just so good at it. I can't say anything but good things about her.
Right? I love how we were like, any chance for another book with her? And she was like, no. Like, just full on. Because you know what?
Like, I get it.
Sometimes you don't need any more. She's like, I did what I came here to do. I rocked it. It's a standalone. I'm like, I respect that. You know what I mean? I
Like
do.
I understand, but I can still be sad about
Yes.
it.
Yes. Just because it was so good. It was so
I
good and so
know.
fun. Yeah.
I just need another one. I think the next Truly Devious is coming out soon, or like Stevie Bell, I guess now because Truly
Yeah.
Devious is done.
Yeah.
But I cannot wait.
Well, and she said that that dossier book, which
Yeah,
sounds really cool, it's like you're given a dossier to solve. I don't remember if she said it was a cold case or just a crime,
right.
but that sounds really cool. That's
Yeah.
right up our alley. I'm like, literally, these are all clues.
I feel like we need to get that some night and be together and we'll try to like solve the case together. Like that would be so
Yes!
much fun.
Yes! Yes! It's
And then
like,
once we
what's
solve the
it?
case, we can cap it off with a bad movie.
That's true.
Boom.
I was gonna say it's like the Stephen King thing. What is it? Finders Keepers.
Yeah,
You'll be Holly, I'll be Barb.
love it. Love it.
Boom. Okay, are we talking DNF?
Oh yeah. Let's get into the DNFs.
Okay, I'm like, flick the hair, flick the ponytail that I can now do. I need a haircut. Okay, I I have to get this up on Goodreads because I need to know how far did I actually read because it was not very far, okay? I was pissed off.
Mm,
This book was one that I saw on Goodreads, and I saw people that I follow on there, thought it was fun. I had been reading a lot of Elsie Silver, cowboy romance, if you will,
yeah.
which they're not really, because I'm not really into cowboys, but whatever. Um, this one I got 10% in, so probably like 30 pages, if that.
Yep.
And it is the first book in the Silver Pines Ranch series by Paisley Hope, and it's called Holding the Reins. This is the cover. I don't even know what it is. It's like wheat, maybe?
That looks like a My Little Pony fan poster.
Like, is it glare? I don't know. You can't even see it, but it looks like
Yeah.
there's like flowers and wheat. I don't fucking know. All I know is I got 10% because I got so pissed off. I thought this was like a cowboy romance thing, and I knew that going in. What
Mm-hmm.
happened was the main guy, this is set in Kentucky, okay?
Right.
That's important. This is set in Kentucky. The main guy is an ex or maybe current, but just not currently doing it right now,
Mm-hmm.
NHL hockey player,
Okay.
okay, from Kentucky who won the Stanley Cup and now has a cowboy bar.
Yeehaw.
Why? Why? I I grew up watching hockey, okay? There's no one from Kentucky who plays hockey in the NHL. I was like, am I crazy here? I Googled it. There's never been anyone from Kentucky in the NHL,
That's
okay?
hilarious.
So this guy is a freaking Christmas miracle, and he also has a cowboy bar. I just was like, I can't do this. And then the girl was so obnoxious and just so immature. And of course, they were going to fall in love right away. And I was like, I don't need to read this. I don't need
Yep.
to read. I can only suspend my disbelief so far. And it's
Yep.
not as far as Kentucky having an NHL Stanley Cup winner owning a cowboy bar.
Oh my gosh.
Like, what the fuck? I just can't. I can't. I just felt like Paisley, is that her name? Paisley Hope, if that's her real name, because it could be
That
just
sounds
a pen
fake.
name. I don't know. Paisley, why did you do this? I feel like she wanted to do a hockey romance, but she also wanted the cowboy romance popularity train that's happening right
Yeah.
now. So she just put it together. And I'm like, that doesn't work. It doesn't
Yeah.
work. If you wanted to do that, you could have made him a weird cowboy bar guy in New York where they actually play hockey. Like,
Yeah.
Kentucky?
Yeah.
I
Just kind
couldn't
of
get
weird.
past that. I was so annoyed. I'm like, this is bogus. Who the hell liked this and made me think I was going to like this?
Right.
Shame on you. So I
For
gave up.
shame.
And it was the best DNF of the year for me.
Love it.
So
My best DNF of the year
I can't wait.
is Keep It in the Family by John Mars.
Oh, I've never
Okay.
read him. Okay.
So, if you like thriller books,
Uh-oh.
he is all the rage right now.
Mm.
All the rage. Everybody and their dog can't shut up about this frickin' book. I don't know why. I I
Keep
kept
it in the
seeing it
family.
in
Keep it out of mine.
right? I kept seeing it in the psychological thriller readers book group that I'm in on Facebook.
Okay.
And everybody is like jizzing over this book. They're like so into it and they love
Oh
John
no.
Mars and they were so outraged that he didn't get on the thriller list for the Goodreads Choice Awards, which is a stupid award. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
We're not even gonna that
Yeah.
I could make a whole separate video about how I feel about the Goodreads Choice
We
Awards.
should. Yeah.
Um and so this family, no, this guy and this girl who are married, I guess, so they are a family, but I just mean they don't have kids. They get this really shitty rundown house out of an auction
Mm-hmm.
because they're poor and they can't afford anything else. So they're like, we're going to get it and we're going to fix it up.
Okay.
Great. So this kid used to live in the house years and years and years and years ago. It's been abandoned. And the very first scene, or like it's kind of like the prologue of the book, I guess. He is listening under the door in the attic, like he walks up these stairs and he's like looking under the door and there's people in the room and he's describing how this person's toes are just like brushing the ground because they're like hung up on something.
Oh, okay.
And I think they're getting like beat up. I don't know. I just like I was reading this and I can read a badly written book and I can read a bad book. Like just not even just badly written, just bad.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something about this that just like grinded my gears so bad on how like there was like a lot of stuff going on, but at the same time, like no plot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, get it away from me. And I also had discourse with some freaking lady on this group about it because I posted and I was like, hey, I'm like 60 pages into this book that everybody loves. And I'm wondering if I should continue. Could people who liked the book tell me what other books they really liked? Because maybe
Mm.
if I like some of those books, I'll keep reading because we seem to have a similar taste and maybe I will come around. And
Sure.
then this lady was like, if you don't like it, just don't read it. And I was like, if you don't like it, just don't fucking comment, Linda. Like, I was so mad. And I'm like, what is this
Oh
group
my
for if
God.
not to ask questions? Why are we here?
Right?
Are we all just supposed to be quiet and sit in this like void?
Was her last name Mars? Like, what the fuck?
Maybe it was John Mars. And like, he is in the group though, which I didn't know. Him and Frida McFadden are in that group.
What else is she doing, honestly?
Apparently,
I
she's a
I
brain
had
surgeon.
for who?
I don't know.
Like, I started my year with her.
Like, I play Operation sometimes, but I don't call myself a brain surgeon. I'm kidding. Apparently, her name's a pen name, and apparently she's a doctor, or like I don't know.
Oh, big whoop. Okay, great. You're a doctor. Doesn't mean you can do everything. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Doesn't mean you need to write books. I also read my first Frida McFadden book of this year, and I was not
That was
impressed.
my very first book.
Yeah. Not a strong
I
start.
Oh, yeah, it really wasn't. It really wasn't. But now I know, and I'm never doing it again.
Yep.
So,
Boom.
the more you know. Yeah.
So that was my DNF. And what was your worst completed book this year?
Okay. So, I did not pick the Frida McFadden one because it didn't make me as angry as this book.
Right.
Because I kind of felt going in that the Frida book was probably going to be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I was somewhat prepared. I also did not pick I feel like I have to mention it because we both read this and I wasn't sure if you were going to pick it.
Oh,
Did you pick a graphic novel?
no.
Okay, great. So, Snow Glass Apples by Neil
Oh my God, it
Gaiman.
was so bad. It
It
was
was
so bad.
so bad,
I
but I
did
feel like
debate that being my worst one.
well, okay, so that'll be our both of our honorary mention then, I
Yeah.
guess, if you will,
Yeah.
because there wasn't much for me to say about it other than what the fuck did I just read?
Yeah.
Like the
It was,
pictures were kind of nice, but
but it was just like Snow White porn. And I was like,
yeah,
but like, I mean, not in a good
vampires?
way.
No, no. This was not like, ooh, nice erotica. No, it was weird. It was
Yeah.
weird. It was weird. And no explanation as to why it was so weird.
Yeah. I know.
It's like, I can, so I will. And I'm like,
And it was Neil Gaiman. I'm just like, what is happening here?
yeah. So that's the honorary mention, I guess, for both of us. Because I was like, what the fuck did I
I
just read?
know.
Because I saw
Yeah.
you say, what the hell is this? And I saw it was so short. And I was like, okay, I'm going to read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's terrible.
All I can say is I'm happy I got it from Libby. I didn't pay money for
Same.
it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So, my actual choice for the worst book I read this year was none other than Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I was so pissed off throughout this book. I could have DNF'd it, and then I think I got to 80% and I skimmed to the end just to see what happened because
Yeah.
I was already so far gone. I couldn't even tell you what this book was about because I was so mad after it. It's
Oh,
like
really?
it's like your stereotypical like basic quest book, I guess. It's like there's riddles we have to solve and we have to find these items
Oh,
basically.
yeah.
And she's with some dark god prince guy. He's like wrath or envy or one of them. It's like one of the deadly sins. I don't remember who because
Right.
I don't care because they're all the same.
Yeah.
They're all just like, I'm dark and brooding and I'm evil, but am
Right.
I? But I also am very hot. Like, it's so stupid, Nikki. It's all the book is all vibes. There's no real character development. They both hate each other. They go to these art things. She's a painter, I think. I don't even remember.
Right.
And they fall in love, but not right away. And there's this constant push pull throughout the book. And when I tell you the amount of are they or won't they? Are they or are they not? Whatever. Are they going to have sex? It got to the point where I was like, I don't give a shit anymore. Just get on with it. I don't care. You can't do that fake will they or won't they 10 times. It loses its effect, Carrie.
Yeah.
Okay? I have tried to read 3 books by her. I DNF'd the second one because I was like, fuck this. And it was all in the same world.
Yeah.
It was all the same world. I don't understand. I can't get on board. I'm glad she's popular and she's doing well for herself. I'm glad people like her books. I'm not one of them. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I was so pissed off at the very end. Shit's going down. You know, we think the world's going to end. He's going to die. All this crazy, intense stuff, right? He says something to her. She's like, there's no time. And then they stop and tell a whole story about their background. And I'm like, there's no time. Why did you
Right.
say there's no time? But let me tell you this long yarn. Like,
Right.
shit's flying in the air. They're like, we're gonna be sucked up in a vortex, whatever the hell's going on. I don't even remember. I was so pissed off. But then it's
Yep.
like, no, let's wait. Let me tell you this tale. Like,
Yeah, get a grip.
I can't. So I'm tired of the will they, won't they. Ooh, let's have some weird, like, random sexual, like, dry humping scene. And then I just
Oh, dry
can't.
humping. Great.
Yeah, that was like, I don't know, Nikki. I'm tired of people just being like, this guy is dark and brooding and evil, and he's also hot, and that's his whole character.
I know. Yeah. It was maybe fun the first like 50 times, but it's not fun anymore.
I love a dark, brooding, hot dude in a
Mm-hmm.
book, but he has to have some kind of personality and reasons why. You can't
Yeah.
just put a bunch of like key tag words and be like, my book is complete. Like, I don't think so.
Apparently you can. That's the sad part.
I won't do it again. She
Yeah.
fooled me thrice. Okay, I'm not doing it again. That's my
Yeah.
fault. I'm not doing it again. So that's my worst book of the year. I think I gave it like a 2 or 2.5. It wasn't the worst book I've ever read in my life, but it made me so incensed that I was like, fuck this shit. I'm mad.
Yeah.
So,
I don't even think they
yeah.
have a tagline for 3 times. It's like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me.
Fool me
Fool
three
me three
times, I should go
times.
to jail.
I'm a fucking idiot. Like
Yeah, I should go to jail. Like, I don't know what I was doing. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Like, so what was your worst read? I can't wait. Now that I know it's not that Neil Gaiman one, I'm like, what happened?
I felt like I had to choose like a real book. Like
Yeah.
something I put my hard-earned time into.
Yes, not like an
And
hour. Yeah.
so I'm gonna preface this. It's my most disappointing book. It might not be
Mm.
the worst book I read this year because I read
Mm-hmm.
Credence, and that's not what I picked.
And
But
Frida McFadden.
and I read Frida McFadden.
Yeah.
But my book is The Perfect Couple by Ellen Hilderbrand.
Oh, yes.
So
Okay.
I have only read one other book by her. It was The Summer of 69. I absolutely loved it.
Mm.
It is one of my favorite contemporary books that I have ever read. And when so there was a show for The Perfect Couple that had Nicole Kidman and oh, what's that guy's name? Liv Schreiber or
Oh,
something.
Leaf Schreiber? Something like
Anyway,
that? Yeah.
it's like Leiv or
I know it's
something.
Leaf. I had a teacher who went to school with him.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like,
So they're in it. Dakota Fanning is in it. And I watched the first episode and I was like, no, I'm going to read the book because everybody, again, losing their minds over this book and the show. And they're like, it was so good and blah, 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 like all this stuff. What was the point? What was the point of any of it? It was like
wow.
this girl dies, and at the end they're like, "Oh, it's all a big misunderstanding. She's dead."
I don't think she feels that way.
Right? Like it literally was at the end. It was like, "Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be for like somebody else."
Okay.
Yeah. And
Oh
then
my
the show,
god.
they just changed everything. They changed names. They changed like so the main girl in the book, her name is Celeste, but they changed it to be something else in the show because Nicole Kidman played a character named Celeste in Big Little Lies.
Oh, who
Yeah, and they're like,
cares?
we don't want it to get them confused. I'm like, trust me, nobody is getting this junk confused with Big Little Lies. That shit was a masterpiece.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is
So
so stupid.
so disappointing. Dakota Fanning is like such a weird person to watch as an adult. She is like not good.
I have not liked her almost my whole life, and I can't even
Right.
tell you why. I don't have real reasons.
I feel like she was a great actor when she was a kid, but I feel like that happens a lot to kid actors. Like they grow up and then they just like forget how to act, or like emotions are maybe just like more genuine when you're a child, and maybe that's why it's
Mm-hmm.
easier. But like
Yeah.
I loved her in Uptown Girls. I
Mm-hmm.
have only seen I Am Sam once because it made me like so hysterical that I just like
Oh,
couldn't ever watch it again. But I remember her
yeah.
being good in that as well. Um,
Yeah.
like that movie triggers me so badly that I can't even watch like clips from it. Like if a clip comes up, I have to scroll because it makes me
Uh,
instantly like bawl.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, she was like not good. And what else? There was just so many like weird things in that series. And I was trying to find anywhere where the author Ellen was like, this was whack. And she
Mm-hmm.
was like, I love all these changes, blah blah blah. And I was like, what are they putting
Ew.
in your drink?
Right? Well, how much did you get paid?
Right?
That's what
I
I want to
hope it
know.
was a lot
Yeah. Like, I'll say whatever
because
you want me to say. Oh my
honestly.
God.
So I
That
was really bummed
sucks.
out about that because I loved her other book that I read by her, and everybody
Mm-hmm.
was going on about how it was so good and the twist and everything. And it was just such a letdown. So, yeah,
Ugh. I haven't read anything by her yet because the covers are awful.
I know they are really ugly.
It makes me scared to pick it up. I'm like,
Like this one is the summer of 69.
yeah, it
They
looks
all
like a
look like that. They're
drugstore
all like
book.
beaches, and everything is set on Nantucket.
Yeah.
But this book was so good. It's told
Okay.
from the perspective, I think she's 11, and it is like literally like the summer of 1969, and her older brother has just gone off to fight in the Vietnam War,
Mm,
and her family goes to Nantucket every summer, and it follows her older sister Kirby, who's working at like a hotel or something on a neighboring island, and her oldest sister Blair, who's stuck in New York and pregnant and has some dick of a husband. And like
okay.
it is so fun and good and sad and
Hmm.
happy and like, so this one is definitely worth it. It's a great
Okay.
summer read. Like, I mean,
Okay.
you're reading about Nantucket in the summer, so of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Perfect Couple, not perfect.
Not
Actually
perfect.
quite bad.
The worst couple. Yeah.
The most unperfect couple.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
God.
Okay, Kelly,
Noted.
this is it. What was your favorite book of the year? Drum rolling.
Pause for effect. Okay. This author was on my list last year,
Ooh,
actually, and it was a very highly anticipated read for me. So I am so happy I loved it. And that book is none other than Lady Macbeth by Ava Reed.
nice.
I even annotated it a teeny bit
Yep.
because, oh my gosh, Nikki, I loved this book so much. I highly recommend if you're going to read this book, anyone, you or anyone, I would recommend pairing it with the audiobook
Mm-hmm.
because it is set in, I want to say, what does it say at the very beginning? Doesn't even say. Wow. Okay. It's set in like, I want to say like 1400s,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. So like we're talking Anglo-Saxon, old Britain, like Briton kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the language at times is really whack when you're just looking at it because you're like,
Right.
I have no clue what this even sounds like. How
Oh,
do I
okay.
read that? Like their names, some of the terms they use. The audiobook was incredible. It was dramatically performed. Like she was so good, the narrator. I don't know who she is. I'm sorry, but she was incredible. And it was really nice to hear the words that I did not know what they were because they just look like letters to me. I'm like,
Right.
what is this, right? You don't need to know the play. You don't need to know the play. It is totally different than the play. There's like little things that if you do know the play, you'll be like, oh, yes. But she made it her own, and she made Lady Macbeth the star.
Love
And
it.
I love that she is young. She's not 50 and like hell bent on ruining men. Like, I think she gets a bad rap with the play.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really interesting to read other people's thoughts on Goodreads because they were like, how is this feminist? Blah, 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 you know? And I'll let you guys be the judge of it, but I thought it was incredible. I thought it was a very feminist retelling. I thought it was probably more historically accurate. I loved the magic in here, the witchcraft in here. There's some like really freaky stuff that goes on,
Mm-hmm.
and just the setting was just dark, creepy. Like I could feel the sand and the muck and just
Ooh.
oh my god. This is what you want to read on a stormy night. It's a very short read too. Like the audiobook I think was maybe 8 hours,
Oh, nice.
6 to 8
Yeah.
hours at one time speed,
Yeah.
and I put it up a little bit, but but it was so good. Oh my god. Like the I just want to read the little blurb because it's really short.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a taste of the vibe for this book. It's very gothic, creepy, magic in the sense, not like pretty fantasy magic, but like gritty magic. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's scary women in here, and I love
Right.
that. The lady knows the stories, how her eyes induce madness in men. The lady knows she will be wed to the Scottish brute who does not leave his warrior ways behind when he comes to the marriage bed. The lady knows his hostile, suspicious court will be a game of strategy, requiring all of her wiles and hidden witchcraft to survive. But the lady does not know her husband has occult secrets of his own. She does not know that prophecy girds him like armor. She does not know that her magic is greater and more dangerous, and that it will threaten the order of the world. She does not know this yet, but she will. And so throughout the book, she wears this veil, like on the cover,
Mm-hmm.
and she keeps her eyes down because they think that her eyes make men mad. And so she
Oh,
has to like make herself unseen.
right.
Oh my god, it is so good.
Just
I
like
want to read it
men to be
again.
pigs and be like, it's your fault.
I love it because in the play, they make her out to be this old, cranky bitch who just wants and wants and wants, you know, and she makes her
Yeah.
husband do these crazy things. She would not have been 50. She would have been a young girl forced to
Yeah.
marry, you know?
Yeah.
And it is so good. It's so powerful. I think if you read this and you think it's not feminist, I think you're missing the point. And I think you
Right.
need to go back, read the play, and then go talk to women about it. And don't just listen to what your teacher told you about this old dead white guy.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah. Also, I
That's what I'm
love how the
saying.
cover is like so rock and roll.
It gives me Marie Antoinette, like that movie
Yeah.
by Sophia Francis Ford Coppola.
Yep.
And underneath, it's bright pink, death
Mm.
touched, poison eyes, witch kissed.
Boom. I
Oh,
love
and I want to
that.
show you, Nikki, and for whoever's watching, the beautiful inside. This is the normal first edition.
Oh my God. That's
Beautiful.
beautiful.
This had my staff pick sticker on it right away when I read it.
Yep.
I was like, I love this. This is mine.
Yes.
So yeah, I love a mad, scary bitch. Okay, love it. I think you'll like this one a lot too, Nikki.
I have it on my list. Like, since
Do
you
the
told me about it.
audiobook,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, with it because it is really good. And yeah, you'll get like they because of the time it's set in, they use different words to refer to her, like depending on who she's talking to, like different languages and stuff,
Right.
which I'm just like, oh my god, the author's smart. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, love it. She did research, you know, like
Yep. I love that. I really appreciate that.
yes. So,
That's so
yeah.
cool.
When you want to like creepy, atmospheric, dark, cozy kind of
Yeah.
read, and then text me.
I'll text you through the whole thing. I'll be like, oh my God. Oh my God.
I read it with Hayden as a buddy read, but I
Oh,
finished it
nice.
way before him because I couldn't stop.
Oh, yeah. Checks out.
So yeah. But yeah. What was your number one? I'm so
I
curious.
feel like you know already, or you will not be surprised in the
Okay.
least. We talked about this, and it is a book I still continue to think about all the time, for better or worse. And that is Holly by Stephen
Oh.
King. This was like my magnum opus of reading for the year. I don't even know what it is. Like, a lot of his books are good. I read a few Stephen King books this year,
Mhm.
but this book just like it made me cry, it made me scared, it made me grossed out, it made me happy. Like it had everything,
Yeah.
everything in it. The relationships were so good. The relationship, everybody in it.
Mhm.
There was like not a part of this book that fell flat for me. And it's a feeling with his books that I chase. And
Mm.
so it was just really nice to have this. And it's another one where I'm like, I really wish I could read it for the first time again because what the hell?
Oh
It
my
was
god.
crazy.
I almost put it on my list,
Yeah.
but I had to really think hard. I mean, we both did for this list,
Yeah.
but I'm like, what do I do? But it was really good. That was my
Yeah.
first finished King book, and I loved it. It was
I was
scary. It
so
was
happy
gross.
too, like that you liked it. Because I mean, I knew the book that you didn't finish, outside The Outsider. I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, well, that book wasn't good. So I knew
Yeah.
that I could get you with something else. I just need to
Yeah.
pick like the perfect
Yeah.
reel you in.
And it was like, it's like you said, it had everything. It
Yeah,
had every emotion. We laughed, we cried, we gagged, like we
literally.
like we tensed up in fear. Like we did everything
Yeah.
in that book.
Oh, I love it.
So
I just
good.
love it so much.
Ah, and
I
we have an
cannot
episode on that
believe.
one too. So you can go
Yeah.
into more of our thoughts on that one
Yep.
with that episode.
You can watch me almost cry while I talk about certain aspects
Yeah,
of this book.
me too.
Boom. Uh, but yeah, I
Oh
can't
my
believe
god.
that this year is almost over. I mean, when you guys listen to this episode, the year will be over. It will
Happy New
be
Year's.
2025. Happy New Year,
Oh my
everybody.
god.
It's been a great year. Lots of changes for both
Yeah.
of us. We
We're
both
both in
decided to go back to
school.
school, change trajectory in
Oh
life a
my
little bit.
god. Yet again. Yeah.
Lots of good reads, some bad
Yeah.
reads.
Yeah. I don't even know what my average rating is because, like, we're doing this, I think, too early to get all that.
Yeah.
But maybe when we have the info, we'll put it on our Instagram
Yeah, we should do a
because
little
a
post
little
for it.
graphic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because I feel like I had a pretty good reading year, all things considered.
I
Like,
know. Yeah. Yeah, I felt
definitely
really
some
good about
duds,
my
but.
reading year. And I think
Mm
because I started out strong, I think when you
hmm.
start off on a note where you're kind of like
Frida
fizzled,
McFadden. Yeah.
it's hard. It's harder to like regain that momentum. But I feel like I read like, well, so much Riley Sager. I was reading those Robert Galbraith books. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
knocking them out like one by one, like what I felt like were 5-star reads, which
Mm-hmm.
is great. And it's really hard to get a streak like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
read the entire Throne of Glass series this
yeah.
year. I read 5 or 6 in the Inspector Armand Gamache series. I think we both had series heavy years,
Yeah.
which isn't always the case. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But
I think I might end the
yeah.
year with all of the Throne of Glass books because I'm really liking it. So I think I'm just going to keep rolling with it, and maybe I
Yeah.
won't finish it by January, but I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's just going to be my continuation, is just until I get those done as my
Yeah.
main book, because so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm
And
having a great time.
I'm keeping my lips sealed book by book because
Yep.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts and then we can actually talk about and you can refresh my memory for some of it, but there's definitely some things I remember, and I'm like, I can't wait.
I know. I
My lips
know.
sealed.
Okay. Do we have anything else to say? This is the end of our season 4. Because we are in
Ah!
school, we're going to be taking a little
Yeah.
bit of time to focus on schoolwork. We are getting very busy with that, and doing the podcast full time in a season is just not super feasible with the work that we have going on right now. So we're going to take a little bit of a hiatus, maybe have like a few random episodes come out,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll see you when we see you.
Yeah.
And
Any wish or goal for the new year, Nikki?
oh,
I'm not gonna. We don't need to think of like specific books necessarily because there. I don't even know about that. But just like any wish or goal you have for your reading year coming up.
yeah, I think that I want to get back into fantasy
Mm.
and maybe like have more of a diverse reading year. I get stuck
Mm.
on a genre and then I really just like burn that into the ground until I'm like, "Ugh, I hate this." And I move on to something else.
Yeah.
So I want to try to switch it up.
Mm.
What about you?
I think I started this year, but I definitely want to continue. I want to continue getting through my physical TBR
Mhm.
and being more mindful about what books I actually want to own as a hard copy. I
Mm.
canceled my Fairy Loot subscriptions.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not working right now. I'm a full-time student, so I have to watch my spending. So if I'm going to bring a book into my home, I want to love it. So unless it's an author I really want to support who's like an auto buy, or I read the book and I know I'm going to reread it,
Mhm.
then I will buy it as a hard copy, but I'm trying to use the library more, which I have been and I love.
Mhm.
I would rather spend money for an American Library card that lets me borrow a bunch of books for free than
Yep.
buy all the books, right?
Yep.
So I think that's my goal is to just kind of like get through what I have a bit more and be more mindful of what I want to bring into the house. But yeah.
That's awesome. That was my goal for
Yeah.
this year and I really sucked at it.
It's hard.
Like
It's hard.
I started off strong. I had my cauldron. I don't even know where that is right now. Oh, it's up there. Like I had my
Yeah.
cauldron full of the books and I started off strong on TikTok and I was like, I'm gonna read these books, and I got like 3 videos in and I was like, what's a shelf? I'm gonna get stuff on my Kindle. Like that
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Well,
the
that's
end
the
of that.
thing. Like I did that after you because I was like, that's a good idea because I have so much to get
Yeah.
through. And I pulled a few, but I didn't do a lot after that. But I
No.
have been trying to get through what I have. I'm either going to get through them or I'm going to donate or sell
Yep.
because I want to have space for the ones I love. I want to
Yeah.
come in here and go, oh, all these beautiful books I love, not like, oh, I haven't read half of these, like
I
guilt,
know.
shame, you know?
I know.
I'm fine with I do have some special editions I'm definitely keeping. That's fine cuz they're also art books, you know. They're
Yep.
beautiful to look at, but I have a limited space in my home and a limited size of wallet at the moment. So,
Yeah. Don't we all?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I want to be optimistic and say sky's the limit, but no.
Just can't
No.
always be that way.
No, support your local library. And if your library's
Yes.
not great, there's free cards for other places, or there's even paid cards, which I know it sounds crazy to pay for a library card, but I pay $50 for an American library card and I use it all the time.
Yeah.
So it's already paid for itself in like 2 books. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I use it all the time. So
Yeah. It's worth it.
just think
It's
about
no
it.
different than subscribing to Kindle Unlimited. Lots of people
No.
do that, except
Yeah.
this way you get like, instead of paying what, $11 a month,
Mm-hmm.
you can pay like
Like,
50 or like $30 sometimes for the whole
yeah.
year.
Yes, and you're
And yeah,
supporting a library.
yeah,
So,
super, super worth it.
yes, 100%. I would do it again. I might even get another library card.
Yeah, I
Seriously.
definitely like understand that mentality of like wanting to own physical things. And I go
Mm-hmm.
through phases often where I'm like, no, I don't want to. And then the next month I'm like, I really feel like I want to buy stuff. And I feel like it's a coping mechanism for something because
Yeah.
I would rather read on my Kindle or my Kobo, honestly. Like I
Yeah.
enjoy reading so much more on those devices.
Mm-hmm.
I very, very rarely pick up a physical book now unless I
Mm-hmm.
have to.
Yeah. And usually nowadays, because I'm so fried from school, I'll have the physical book while I listen to the book
Yeah.
because I'm so tired. I'm like, I want to read, but my brain hurts,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
I know. I
yeah.
get that. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening to this.
Yeah.
We've gone
Thank you
on so
for
many
joining
tangents and
us.
little ramblings throughout this, but this is our last chance to talk to you guys for a while.
Yeah, we're
And
going to miss you.
I know, but I feel like we'll come back a few times before we officially start season 5 because like we
Oh,
can't
yeah.
stay away forever. Um,
No, things come up and we jump. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So,
So,
yeah.
thank you all so much for being with us this season and for this episode. Let us know what your best and worst of 2024 are and what your goals are for 2025. Until next time, cheers!